Good morning, everyone. Rather, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all well. Happy Sunday. Thank you for joining me today. Slightly different time, but maybe some people who don't have the opportunity to normally attend will be able to attend at this hour. So, beautiful day today. Just rained last night. Everything's so fresh and clean. And I hope you all had a wonderful week. It's nice to be with you all today. I don't want to speak too much today. Some teachings have been coming through. And I've sort of been deep in my own practice a little bit. And but I do want to speak briefly about the practice we'll do today. Our favorite Shekhinah Shalom. And what it is a little bit, we've discussed it a few times, and it keeps coming back. And I'm seeing more and more just how central this one is. And I'm deepening with it, getting to know it better, and deepening my energetic connection of what Shekhinah Shalom brings up, the current, the effect it has on my body and my mind. And contemplating what it is. And I haven't gone back to my old teachings on it, and there are several. I think the first one was last August, possibly. Maybe July, one in November. And I discussed it recently, I think in December, January. And we've been doing some practice with it. And what's been coming to me, and I like to share it with you, so you can have that in your mind, especially for those who haven't come to an understanding of kind of what it is, and these things take time. But generally, what is it? There are many different names, different properties. And they're all a little different. This one hones in to certain qualities. And I feel that it's the extension of God's grace, Grace, towards us. Grace is an interesting word. You could say it's compassion, but it's a little more than that, and I should have Googled it. Let me see here, because I know what it means, but it's one of those words that's a little hard to define. You almost feel what it is. But if you're a non-native speaker, good luck. Yes. Yes. It's what I thought, but there's elements that I do not like to this definition I'm seeing here, because I don't believe that's the right interpretation. And that's exactly what I was contemplating as being giving me pause about using a dictionary definition. Mm. Yeah. So, the extension of God's grace, I'm going to amend the definition a little bit and say it in my own terms. It's an extension, a giving of favor, love, kindness, healing that God directs towards us, humanity. And it's a gift. He doesn't need to do it. That's the element of grace. You extend your grace to someone. You extend your help, compassion, certain aspect of giving. But it necessarily doesn't mean you're not obligated, because it's a grace. It's offered freely. It's not necessarily demanded of you. And if that's the case, I don't think if grace would necessarily be the right word. I disagree respectfully with the definition here that I'm seeing, and I want to say it what it is. And I actually think it's a very important point for us. It says it's an unmerited, unmerited favor. That means you don't deserve it. And I don't agree with that. There's nothing we could do to earn it, because we can earn for it. We can be good and we get the grace extended. So that's possible. But we also can get it extended just because it's being extended. Okay, that's an important point. But the aspect that we are not worthy of it, I don't like that poverty mentality. So I'm glad I went to the definition. It is not being extended because there's no way we can be worthy of it. I don't like that, because we can be worthy of the grace, the extension of the Shekhinah that's being directed towards us. Okay? It's a very important point. To saying, I'm not worthy, therefore God is so great to give it to us because I'm a lowly person and I'm horrible. Well, that maybe describes some people, so that maybe might be what it is, and that's really, then that might work. But a lot of people have that even though they are good people, or they're sort of in between. To say, I'm not worthy, and to, take a whip and hit your back. I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. No. No, 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 and no. We have to find the beauty in ourselves and not just poo on ourselves. Right? Even if we really are not worthy, we're still worthy of God's grace, and God's grace is extended. We should make ourselves worthier and improve on the path. And maybe, you're not worthy. But then I think God loves all his children. And see, that's the extension of grace. But the person that example would fit towards is a minority. We all have good and we have bad. And I don't like people to feel depreciating themselves. Do you see? An extension of grace. I like that idea. It's God extending something. He doesn't need to. And we may be worthy, somewhat worthy, not worthy. But it's extended. And that's the word grace, the blessing, the access to the Shekhinah. Is that makes sense? But it is not, we are not worthy. You see. So it's the extension of God's grace. And what is being extended, directed towards us, offered, available towards us? So it's the indwelling, the divine presence that lives within us, that inner cathedral. About the Shekhinah, the cathedrals, there's no life there. It's a wall, might not even exist. There's no knowledge of God, no interaction, no feeling, no life force. We would be dead. But let's just keep it like it's a, but the fact that we could tap into it, that's the grace. It might be available, but if we can't tap into it, the fact that we can tap into it and have a relationship with it, that's truly a blessing. So there's a presence within us, and that presence is defined as the Shalom, peace, wholeness, and completeness. And those are attributes of us. So as we touch in with the Shekhinah, we touch in with what is whole, peaceful, and complete. And if you're those things, you're healed. So as we relate to the Shekhinah energy, we are touching in with a healing life force that makes us whole. We tap into the grace, but it's like a river flow. As we learn to tap in and to go into it further, to feel more of the flow, the blessings and the grace is extremely bountiful. Because we've learned to connect with that name. We've learned to connect with that current. We've practiced. We're familiar. We feel it's safe. So we get into that river of the Shekhinah flow and allow us to flow into our body, which provides the healing, which provides the repair, which provides a wholeness. So it's in the family of El Na Refanala, a healing prayer, healing mantra. The Shekhinah, all the names really are. But there's something about the Shekhinah floor that's very, very powerful. And it could also be defined as the presence of peace, or the divine presence of wholeness. And that is what I would want us to focus on today. It's an extension by Adonai of his wholeness. And that wholeness is present. Adonai is present through the Shekhinah. The energy is available, and we call it the Shekhinah. So when we do Shekhinah Shalom, It's literally meaning peace of the Shekhinah. That indwelling divine presence that represents peace, wholeness, and completeness. That presence that is divine and whole. The presence of peace. The cool water that heals thirst, heat, energy, injury, anger. That sulfur spring, mineral spring that's hot, that heals our body. The medicine that heals our mind, spirit, and soul. The fragrance in the air. Beautiful fragrance, a beautiful sound. It's a healing modality. So we could see it as all those things which we could understand as human beings. And those are the properties, some of the energetic properties of the Shekhinah. It also can provide wisdom on how to go about achieving those things, on finding yourself whole, greater understanding, greater relationship with God. As one deepens with the Shekhinah, one deepens with one's relationship with God. And as you deepen with that, your understanding of God, what He is, increases. Our understanding of our lives, what we are, what are we doing here, and what do we wish to do with our lives? How do we wish to engage with our lives? We increase in that understanding as well. To engage with the Shekhinah is to engage with the presence, the capital P, presence. Presence. Another word in English that sounds familiar, similar. So it's presence, being in front of. We're approaching, we're plugging ourselves into that socket. And I personally find it to be very relaxing and very healing. It's like being warm, wrapped in a warm blanket. Today it just rained. I happen to be outside, and these yellow flowers that are growing, and they have a sweet smell. And it's sort of breathing that in, that it's calm. And yet it has an energy, a golden light. But it's not like electric, but it's infused with life and infused with divinity. And it's not harsh. Shekhinah Shalom. Shekhinah Shalom. Shekhinah Shalom. Isn't it peaceful? Aren't the sounds peaceful? It's almost like a lullaby to a certain extent. Shekhinah Shalom. Shekhinah Shalom. Shekhinah Shalom. Yes? So that's what I wish to practice with today. Of course, only if this feels good to you. Only if it makes you feel good when you do this practice. It should only have positive attributes, effects on you. If it makes you feel really anxious, it makes your head spin, if it amps you up or makes you depressed, then I suggest you stop. These are just guidance based on traditions that I've learned and my own experience, the experience of the teachers that taught me. But we are each having our own experience, and we're each responsible for ourselves and our own experience. So if it doesn't feel right, do another name, or maybe mantras are not for you. I like to say that every once in a while. Just, this is, you guide, you're self-guided. I offer it up into YouTube to all of you, but it's offered. Whether you do one thing or the other is really your choice. But yes, does that make sense? And I just, want to say one thing that my teachers said, and one thing that I say occasionally. If you're prone to schizophrenia or bipolar or those things, check in with your doctor first. If you feel it's making you more depressed, check in with your doctor. Switch the name. But if not having a good reaction to it, then stop. There's other practices I share, or, maybe just normal prayer, just singing normal songs. And that's a beautiful practice too, a practice of study, a practice of living properly, a moral, ethical life, and working on those elements. Psychotherapy to get rid of anger and maybe aggression. So there's so many ways to walk the spiritual path that are available. And I suggest people use all of them when they do mantras. But the point is, you don't have to do mantras to attain something. This is an unusual path. It's not everywhere. It's existed throughout history on many different traditions, including the Jewish tradition. But it's not one that's everywhere, which means most of the people are living their life correctly and attaining things through methods that are more used often by most people. Working on your life, how you treat others, going to services, listening to music that's holy, reading texts, studying religious people, meeting teachers that have a certain vibration and being around them and trying to live a life that's similar to theirs. So that is a road that's perfectly authentic. So if you're one of those people that this is not for you, don't feel bad. And you could still listen. I teach many things that have nothing to do with mantra. You just do a practice that works for you. And I just like to ground that once in a while, just to, make it clear. Because I want everybody safe, and there's different minds, and people have different things going on with them, and not everything for everyone. Just not, And there's people who really don't like to study sacred text. They're not the studier. That's not for them. And there are people very devotional, all energy and spirit and whatever, and that's wonderful. They don't like to study. And then there's people who can't really understand devotion, so they have to study. And that's fine. That's where they are. And then there's people who do both, who can, if they work a little bit in the one that they have problems with. And so I suggest people do both if they're able to. And the form of prayer is the form of prayer that works for you. If you are open to doing mantra and you're able to do it and do it safely, the name that you choose, or the names you choose, that's up to you to discover what works for you. Your own sort of guide. I should have maybe said this as I was starting and not after I gave the whole setup to do the practice, because now I think we've forgotten it a little bit. But I wanted to make it clear, that point, as I do every couple months, because we've been going pretty intensely on the mantras, and we will for a while, because that's really a practice that we can do together. But if you're not able to do it, your doctor says no, it doesn't feel right, or it makes you too anxious and nervous and you start spinning, then don't. But you could still join us in a sense. During the time we're doing it, you could do normal prayer, or you could be reading something, or doing a practice that does work for you. So you're part of the space, but you're not necessarily doing that practice. And that's great. Or you're hanging out and chilling while we do our thing. So I don't want anybody to feel excluded, but at the same time, in everything we do in life, we have to use our own intelligence. In the end, the responsibility is our own, because we ourselves take the consequences, good or bad, of our decisions. Personally, I've never known, in my circle of friends, we're all doing the same thing. I wouldn't be extending this publicly if I thought most people would have problems with. I think it'll be a minority of people possibly, or no one at all. But, we have to be smart. And I really wanted to make that clear. And I don't want to belittle the point, but I offer a lot of practice and a lot of choices and a lot of knowledge, and it all helps. The most important thing, even if you can't connect with God, even if you don't believe in God or you don't know what to believe, bottom line, live a moral and ethical life. Have compassion, and you'll be fine. God understands. We're born in different things. We experience different things. Life can be very difficult. But we are responsible on how we treat each other and our actions. In the end of the day, I think that's what's the most important. And so we keep that in mind. What helps us to do that? And as we do that, energetically, we do grow closer to God, because we're clearing up the fog, bad energies, mixture of God knows what, and we're starting to breathe refined air and cleaner energies, because that's where we're at. We are raising our vibration. Mantras is a means, a way of raising our vibration by using energy. Through the repeating of sacred names that are blessed and the sounds of the name. Right? So, Shekhinah, Shekhinah, Shalom, Shekhinah, Shalom, Shekhinah, Shalom is different than El Shaddai, Shalom, El Shaddai, Shalom, which is different than Adonai, Shalom, Elohim, Shalom, Elohim, Shalom, Abba, Shalom, Abba, Shalom. Yeah? I sense the different energies with all of them. Takes time. So, we learn which one to use, but we also see if this method is one that's meant for our lives, period, or something to engage now, or maybe in the future, or not at all. And how much to do, how often, how many repetitions a minute, or one repetition every 3 minutes, or one repetition at the beginning and nothing else afterwards. Do you see? So many beautiful ways. So much beauty in traditions, practices that go back thousands of years, hundreds of years. But there's so many of them. So it's up to us to pick and choose what helps us on our individual path. It's the path of care. It's the path of love. It's the path of living a life that we can be proud of. And at the heart of it, that's what's the most important. All the love of God is no good if we are not nice and care and we don't have good ethics. I don't understand that. That's like an error 404 in my mind. Right? So the good ethics and everything is really important. And then if you have devotion and love, then you have, from a religious perspective, it's complete. But not everybody here is religious. So I expand it wider to, the essentials. But ultimately, love of God leads us on the right path, because that frequency where we tap in, that heart-to-heart frequency, and when we tap into the Shalom, into the Shekhinah, into the names, into devotion of sacred objects, you feel God's presence, like when you're facing a Torah, right? Or doing certain songs. That affects our lives, hopefully for the better. See, that's a practice. We read the Psalms and we're inspired by the beautiful poetry. Psalms of poems of devotion and love, and also of struggle, and also of pain, and how to overcome it and walk with God. It's a form of study. It's a form of being inspired. It's a path. So many paths. And some parts in your life you're drawn to certain ones, and then to others, or you weave back to others. So there's so much potential. Mantras is one option that I personally tend to focus on. So that's where I focused my life. But honestly, not many people come across these teachings, so that's part of it, or are necessarily drawn to it as well. So there's so many other options as well, which I do discuss. So is it right for you? Is it safe for you? And make your inquiry, make your decision. Ultimately, walk a path of wholeness, of shalom. Be a good human being and work to be better and better. And mantras may be part of that or not. That's okay. I want to give people full permission, not so much permission, but to fully understand you're not being left out if you don't feel called to do the practices like this. I'll teach plenty of things. Don't worry, there's much to talk about. So that part will be there, but there'll be a while, and I'm entering a big practice season. But there'll still be talks. And if it's too much practice, there's 125 recordings. I'm about to put out another 20. So there's a lot of old stuff you could listen to, and see if that inspires you or that guides you. There's so much to do if you choose. I'm glad I said that. I'm really glad. I'm sorry. I hope I don't take too much time on this, but I'm glad the way I said it. And the religious journey is amazing. Amazing. So many paths, so many roads. And you could take a little from this and a little from that, and you create your own bouquet of practices that you feel assist you. Be careful what you choose from. There's things out there that are not so good for you, and they might look good and they're really not. Or they don't look so-so and they might be better than you think, but do you want to take the risk? Who knows? But so always be up and awake and intelligent. Perfect. Shekhinah Shalom. As I draw us back in, the extension of the grace of God. Shekhinah, the indwelling divine presence. Shalom, peace, wholeness, completeness. Shekhinah Shalom can mean roughly the presence, for capital P, of peace with a capital P, or the divine presence of wholeness. So as we say Shekhinah Shalom this afternoon together, let's open ourselves, if you choose to peace and the presence of God. Tap into the wholeness that is always available to us. Tap in to the Shekhinah that lives in our heart, that flame in our inner cathedral, in our inner temple, in our inner Mishkan. Amen. So, give people a minute or two to get ready. If you have a prayer space and you wish to light in the incense, feel free. Drink a little water, stretch the legs, and we'll do a little practice together. Sound good? Beautiful. So I'll see you all in, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes? Okay, see you soon. Hey, people head back if still out and about a little bit. Make sure I'm broadcasting, hear my voice on here. And so have a comfortable posture. Perfect. I've heard my voice on the broadcast, so that's always good. Broadcasting, so I'm glad it's going through. And so find a comfortable spot. If people are doing lotus or semi-lotus, if you take off your socks, is an energy transfer with the foot against the body, which sort of happens anyway, but the skin against the skin is really helpful. If you're in full lotus, I recommend you do it more often than not, because you're really unifying the left and right side of your body and your brain, and having the foot and the sole against the skin really kind of makes that circuit, especially if you have your hand cupping your knee. On my website, I describe where to put the thumb on either side. So with whatever posture you take, it's important to have the spine straight if you can. Neck pointed down a little slightly. With me, my neck tends to go vertical really fast, and that is fine. And sometimes if energy really goes up, my neck actually goes above horizon. My eyes start, and the head starts lifting up much more. That's unusual. It's not a form you want to do all the time, but if you naturally lift, you let go. You're able to feel your body, and you'll know with time when it's flowing or where there's a constriction. And if there's a constriction, just breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. We are not amping up energy. We're not making energy more intense. We are not using these words as generators, like spinning it to make electricity. No. We are just saying the words, and we are always relaxing into the flow. Relaxing and allowing the flow in our bodies, the energy in the bodies to flow the way it's always meant to flow. To heal the pathways in our brain, to release the trauma, release the pain. But if it ever gets too overwhelming, you cut back. If it hits something traumatic, or you get stuck somewhere, you seek professional help. If it throws you off balance, then maybe it's not for you. See, we have so many modalities and things to do. We avail ourselves. We reach out for things. When I started, I did a lot of EMDR when I was doing the meditation. I had to do talk therapy. There were things I needed to discuss about my youth that had helped. I got really depressed. I had to go on antidepressants. No shame in that. Now, this was really my path, so I went there. For other people, it'd be like, oh, that's too much. No. And they go to something more that's more often done, and that's fine too. This is a quicker path. It gets you there faster, and you really connect to things that most people aren't able to connect to. You are learning to connect with your body, the flow, the divine flow that's all around us, that's in us. And we are learning to swim, bathe in it. We're learning to live in it. It changes our lives and changes how we engage with our lives, and it could change what we decide to do or not do in our lives. It could create changes because the way we think or what we think is important or not important can change as we heal and become whole. Things that we thought was our personality, we realize is no longer is. And it should always be for the better, never for the worse. But sometimes we have to go through a little difficult ground as we are clearing things. And we learn to navigate that intelligently. Or realize, for us, for whatever reason, that ground is not a to-go place. Or we have something going on with us that we are not able to walk that particular pathway. And so we pick another one. Yes? Shekhinah Shalom. We open to the presence of God. We open to His life force, to His love for His children, to the divine grace that is extended to all, always, to everyone, whether they're quote-unquote worthy or not. The hand is always extended, waiting for us to reach up and catch it, hold it, try to feel it. The hand, in many ways, is the Shekhinah. And we relax in this divine name, these divine syllables. We relax in, let me see. I worked on the picture this week, and I didn't quite finalize it. Just bear with me. It's a little more going on with it than I. Figure out how to work my computer. Bear with me one moment. Thought I would just go right into practice, and of course I end up talking. So I didn't think we would get to this. I can quickly fix this. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not exactly how I wanted to. I'm very careful with things like this. Oh, perfect. Everything you see or hear, feel is energy. The most part. I don't know. I want to say it's everything, but I like to hedge. So when I present something, I'm trying to make sure it works. And I think this will be worth the time. I'm not exactly sure why it doesn't. It's always when you have to rush. Oh, I see here. They keep changing the way things work. Now I see why they changed the interface. I think I got it. Of course, I'm in the sun, so it's hard to see the screen. No. It's okay. I got most of it. Let me wait. This is perfectly fine. Not fully, but it's good. There's blessings in letters, and I could actually zoom in, I think. Yeah, that's what I can do. One moment. So this is perfect. So when we work with sound, we're working with the sound that of Hebrew characters. And there's a blessing in how they look. The sound is emitted by the characters, and it's how we pronounce it. And so if we do a practice like this, optimally, especially if one's starting out, you can look on how it's spelled. Yes? It's Hebrew is right to left. So Shekhinah, first word, and Shalom, the second word. And in certain mantra traditions, people actually visualize the name as they are saying the words. So that's one way I was taught as well. So it's powerful. The energy, these are holy words. And there's a flow of energy from them because it's blessed and it's connected to God. Sacred words and lettering have that effect in these teachings I'm giving. It's part of the mantra aspect. That's why the sound has the blessing. This also has the blessing. So you could take a screen capture and I will put it up in the archive section, which I'm currently editing. So people want to download it. I'm going to make a different version though. So wait a little bit. I'm trying to get it a certain way, and the program's fighting me for the last week or so. So once it's there, it will be there. Wonderful. So we're looking to be in the presence of God, to feel the Shekhinah and the flow, and allowing ourselves to relax in it. So we find calm posture. Maybe drink a little water. And as we do it, we remember to relax. Every once in a while, tell yourself, relax and let go of any tension. And we begin to realize there's always something we're releasing. We think we're relaxed, and then there's a next level and a next level. And we exhale and we realize, oh, I was tense even though I thought I was relaxed. And we just learn to just be in the sound. And then you could also take a moment or 5 minutes and just be in the presence of your practice without repeating the name, or you just say it once and you're in presence, or you say it repeatedly. There's so many different ways to explore, and I would just do what you feel called to do. And so we'll practice for maybe 15, 20 minutes together. Does that sound good? So I will start us out, and then there we are. Deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Shekhinah Shalom, 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 Shekhinah Shalom.
מצדקתך תמיד גומלם חסין קדוש חסין קדוש ברוב טובך נהל עדתך יחיד גאה לעמך פנה זוכרי קדושתך שבתנו קבל ושמע צעקתנו יודע תעלומות אנא בכך גאולת ימינך תרצה רוח קבל רינות עמך סגנו טהרנו נורא שבתנו קבל ושמע צעקתנו יודע תעלומות יודע
ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Thank you for joining me. If the Shekhinah Shalom speaks with you, maybe you'll continue on practicing it. This is the name I feel that I personally will be practicing for a while. And I think in the teachings, HP Shalom and the Wednesday prayer gathering, going forward for a little while, I think we'll stay with Shekhinah Shalom. So I wanted to mention that in case people, if that would, if people want to work with that name with me, I thought it'd be helpful to let everybody know that I think we'll spend a little time again on Shekhinah Shalom. So I hope you've enjoyed what I've shared today, and I wish you all a wonderful week. Bye-bye.